Hi everyone and welcome to a new series called Rural Renovations. This massive expanse of land in front of me is called No Man's Land. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is an uninhabited piece of land between the borders of France and Spain. And it is now my job to make this piece of land habitable. The first step that I did was find myself a piece of land where I could build myself a house. I came across this little shed that was surrounded by trees and thought that this was the prime spot to build my house. I did think it was a bit weird that there was already a shed house here, seeing as no one was meant to live in this land at all. I made sure that no one was in there by looking through the windows and even going inside to see if there was any signs of life. When I went inside, there was a sofa, a fully fitted kitchen, a bath and a bed. Still, not much was in there though. It did make me wonder who could have been here, seeing as this land was meant to be uninhabited. Nonetheless, I just shrugged my shoulders, continued looking round and making plans on where I'm going to build my house. The next thing I did was bring in a huge chunk of machinery to start chopping away at some of these trees and hollowing it out a bit for me to place my house. During the process of fetching the machinery in, I did ask for a few people to help me, but none of them wanted to, and I really don't know why. So the next thing I did was just smash this little house down so I can create some space to build my own. Everyone might want to look away at this point because it ain't pretty. The next thing I did was started to grab a couple of trees that I thought would be in the way of the plans for my house and started chopping. And because no one wanted to help me, I had to walk all the way back down the path to civilization just to grab the other part of the machinery that I needed to use for these trees. So that was really fun and really nice of the people, to be honest. And as you might have noticed, this was the first time of me using this type of machinery to cut down trees, so I was a bit dodgy at it, but I finally got it in the end. So here you can see me chopping down the tree and then taking all the branches off and chopping it into maybe 5 meter length pieces of wood. And during this time, I was just sat chopping the trees, thinking about how lonely my life's going to be for the next few weeks and how that no one's going to be around me because this is uninhabited, right? So after that, I just finished off and just put the trees in a pile and I walked all the way back to grab the other piece of machinery, and as you can see I was having a lot of trouble with it because, like I said, this is the first time I've ever used this machinery, and to be honest I nearly took it off the floor, never mind being able to take the logs off the floor. Eventually though I did manage to pick it up and somehow throw it in the back of the lorry, if you could call it that. I'm not actually sure what this piece of machinery is called. But yes, I had a lot of trouble, as you can probably tell, so much so that I ended up giving up and throwing the logs that I can manage into the back of the lorry myself, which also didn't go well because I nearly conked myself on the head. So I actually gave up and went back to the lorry to try and right it again. Here I am, trying to pick up another 2 logs, which was successful at the beginning and then it started going a bit wrong, as you can see. Good job that these machines are suited for idiots like me to use because, yeah, I sure did need the extra support. And now that I have no one else helping me to work this land, I will have to learn how to do everything by myself. So once the logs were successfully on the lorry, I used some belts to fasten around them and moved it to one side so that I can finally create the path and the outline for where my house is going to go. As you can see, I just squared off the ground a little bit to make sure that I have enough room, and I had to bring in a mulcher to be able to remove these tree stumps, and then realised that I didn't cut them close enough to the ground. So how the hell is my tractor gonna get over that? Never mind, I just cut it down to size by myself, and then just threw this tree stump onto the back of the lorry along with everything else. Then I ran over it and realised that that mulcher didn't actually work, so I had to go back and buy another mulcher because apparently I bought the wrong one. So now I have 2 mulchers. Anyway, here's my house and the little dog kennel that I bought. Oh, and I installed a shed at the back as well. I also rounded off the dirt at the front of my house to make a nice decent driveway, or whatever driveway you can call that, seeing as it's still made of mud. But regardless, I thought, what the heck, might as well join in with the forest aesthetic. So I'm just making the road a little bit wider so that it can be used for bigger trucks and bigger vehicles. And then I installed a lovely little security fence around my building, because who would like to get robbed in the middle of nowhere if there's any robbers around here with the woods at the back of your house? Not me. And this way I'm setting my boundaries to show people this is my turf, please leave. And don't forget, I have a guard dog to prove it as well. Not much of a guard dog as guard dogs go, but there we go. We move. I added little hedges the same height as my fence at the front of my house to make it a little bit more homely, but then I did realise that I placed the hedge very wonky and had to redo it, and now I'm just kind of morphing the front of the hedge into a more grassy area instead of just dirt and sticks. Oh, and weeds. So then I decided to bring my favourite Jeep over, for transport back and forth, but I'm not sure how that's going to work because there's only one of me and then there'd be 2 vehicles, so yeah, there's that problem. Anyway, I took this opportunity to treat that as a racetrack and brought it home, where I thought, yeah, pair of gates would be nice, only to realise that I brought the wrong ones and these ones stick through the hedges like sore thumbs, so here I am installing another gate, which I then found out was too big and then switched to a smaller one of the same style. To be honest, placing this gate took hours of my life off me that I'm never going to get back, because the gaps that remained in the side of the gate where the pillar meets the hedge drove evil into me. So I sat here fixing this for ages, and it is the bane of my life, I swear. And I had to do it a certain way where I could measure it and see if it was perfect, which I was super happy with after a while because I just accepted my fate. And there you have my brand new, sparkly clean, gorgeous gates. As you probably could have guessed, once I finally placed these gates properly, I took a good long stride through them to see what they looked like from the back and the front, and admired my new abode for the upcoming months. And as you can see, through my hard work and dedication, I now have a mass of machinery just left on the side. So in the next episode, please join me as I build them a nice little shed to live in. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video, telling me how much of a good job that I've done and giving me any ideas of what I could do for the rest of this series. But in regards to that, I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.